get busy, and I'm here today to drop more knowledge and wisdom is what I do. And today's episode is called Why Modern Men Are Weak. Why Modern Men Are Weak and Don't Even Know It. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be talking about modern men and how progressive men, simps, beta cooks, whatever you want to call them nowadays, is ruining society, making it culture collapse. Um, Things of that nature is why I'm kind of gonna go and be explaining, bringing facts and statistics to match what I'm saying, like I always do every time I talk. I'm not here to yap about opinions and bullshit. I'm here to talk about how facts and 2 + 2 = 4, and it never changes. That will never change. I don't care who you are, president, pope, priest. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? 2 + 2 will always equal 4. You can't change it. And if it equals 5, I'm going to correct you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to come with truth every single time. Another thing, a lot of people in today's cultures are relativists, meaning they don't believe in like certain absolute truths that are just everybody knows they're true. Like we all know that there's an objective moral reality that we know what good and evil is. But I don't want to get too far in that. You can check out other episodes for that. But a lot of people like to say, to each his own, or let people live how they want to live, or they want to mind their business. That's a flaw logic, you know what I'm saying, because you can't be consistent with that lifestyle and live a regular life. It just doesn't work. Everything affects everything, you know what I'm saying. Even if you don't see it now, it could affect you in the future. And I like to give an example, like that drag queen bullshit, like men dressed up, makeup and all that, dressing up and going into schools that were reading like children books and all, like to kids, confuses young children. That could even be traumatic. Like I'd be damned if I had my daughter, or my future son or anybody go to school and they're seeing some confusion, and it manipulates their mind like, oh, maybe I can do this. Like usually everyone's gonna have kids. Not everyone has kids. I'm not generalizing, but I'm saying, um, if you think about having a kid one day or whatever, like things are gonna affect your kid that you can stop now by speaking up and not being just happy in your little corner. Because one day someone's gonna come in that corner and it's gonna fuck up your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Stop being sheltered. Start advocating for yourself, for the truth. And if you want to advocate for the wrong side, go ahead. I'll be there to challenge you every step of the way. Um, it's just easier to stay silent. People don't want to go out and stand on foundation. They want to stand on sand. They don't want to stand on solid foundation. They want to stand on sand. And I say this because a lot of people nowadays are just like, oh, whatever. Go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead, girl. Show your pop your pussy online and get money for it. Like, why are you telling your best friends to do that? Like, don't you have any dignity or self-respect? Probably not. And I want to also highlight the domino effect. All right, everyone heard about the domino effect or the ripple effect. They're both kind of very similar. When one thing happens, another thing happens, another thing happens. So when you're letting all them people do that crazy shit, and you're letting all this madness run wild, like transgender shit, and just like when I'm talking about the simps and the beta cucks and the progressive men, once you allow all this shit, you don't want to talk about it and you don't say anything about it, this is what causes issues, and it's just going to make bigger issues. And one day we're going to get so far beyond the natural design and the natural normal and the natural rule of what the world's supposed to be, that it's just going to be fucking anarchy out there. But without further ado, it's time to get fucking busy. First, I want to say a simp is a man with no mission, right? So he makes his woman his god. And that is just flawed in so many ways, and we could break it down. Some women could be watching this and they're like, oh, I want my man to worship me like a god. Like, you may think you want that. You may think that sounds good, but in reality, it's not good at all. It's just nothing benefits from it. Because if your man is worshiping you, the woman, and that means he's not leading in no type of way. He's worshiping you, looking towards you to be his God. Now, if you're looking at someone to be your God, what is God? Who is God? The creator of the universe, all powerful, all good. He's going to put expectations on you that are going to be unbelievably um, unreachable for you to achieve talking to the woman. Like, and then he's going to resent you, and he won't even know why. You might not even know why, but that's the reason, because he's looking towards you for the perfection and for you to lead and do all these extra shit that a woman is not programmed or created to be. And when I mean programmed, I mean created, because we do have free will, and that's 100% correct. But it's the fact that we were designed a specific certain way. God designed us a certain way. You see how many bones we have in the body, how our organs move and do different things in the way they do it for a reason. We got the skin cells that are even small that you only can, the naked eye can't even see, that are all doing crazy things and is a design, right? And men and women were biologically designed. God says it and science says it, and those are two things. How are you gonna go against that? You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get into some of this stuff. So we got simps, beta cucks, and progressive men. That is what we're going through right now. All right, those three things, those terms, we're gonna define them, and this is what I believe is a reason for culture collapse. Now, let's get into it. Traditional men are necessary. Me, I like to define myself as a traditional man, right? And when I say traditional man, I'm more of a conservatist too. So when it comes to these terms, like, we always like to define things because a lot of people use words and don't use them correctly, or I might use a word, you might use a word, and I'm trying to go off definitions and how they're defined and the true meaning. A lot of people hear these words, hear slogans in their heads, people using them in ways that are not intended, and then now we're confused because you might be talking about the same thing I am, and maybe you're not. And that's why I like to define terms. So, a simp is a man who over prioritizes women, validation, and approval, always at the cost of always at the cost of self-respect and dignity. Submissive. All right, that's what a simp is. All right, there's probably other terms, but like that's the main one. A beta cook is a weak, submissive man in a relationship to his female partner. Progressive men are like some of the men that are supporting LGBTQ, equality. They don't have a problem with the whole notion of a man staying at home, cleaning and cooking, and putting on skirts, finger polish, makeup. They don't think there's no type of difference between like stuff like that. As a traditional man, I will immediately say that shit's all wrong from the rip. So the thing
Let's get
about
into it.
these terms is, like, for example, simps. Like, I got a little fact over here, but roughly, it says roughly, but the modern woman can post a selfie and have like 30 plus simps flooding their shit. It's not attraction, it's addiction. Okay? And the thing about this is, like, it's probably every woman. I would say it's probably every woman. This was something social media has affected. Um, a woman can post a picture of herself online. Maybe they're showing a little ass, maybe, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're dressing in a certain way, and at some fault, it is the woman's too for attention seeking in certain ways, because, like, your body is your temple, and if you have self respect and dignity, like, you don't want no one to really see all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You want your man to see that side of you. You gotta be sexy for your man. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to be all sexy online or in public in certain ways. When I define sexy, I mean like provocative, promiscuous as clothing and shit. Like, there's no reason for it. You know what I'm saying? Wear that shit for your boyfriend, your husband. And I say boyfriend too. Like, in culture, it's a lot mixed up. People are in relationships long term, over 6 7 years, without getting married. There's no point. If you're gonna date somebody, you're dating to get married. That's the whole purpose. You're not just gonna date someone just for 5 6 years to see if this is gonna work out, and then I'm gonna marry you. Like, that's not the whole goal, and that's another thing that culture got fucked up. So back to what I'm saying is, though, so women got all these options, right? Women like to say they have options, but they really don't. Because if you see in today's culture, like, a lot of people are single, a lot of women are single, a lot of men are single too, but a lot of women are single, and they're single because their options aren't really options, if you get what I'm saying. It says, think about it. I'm talking to y'all women too. You check your Instagram DMs, you got boom, 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 all these people, right? And they're hitting you up and they're saying like, "Yo, let's do this, let's do that." You might get dick pics. People, men sending you dick pics that you're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Um, Men are begging to talk to women so bad. I didn't see in cases they're paying women. They're paying women just to talk to them. Man, what the fuck are y'all doing? Another thing is a problem is that most of these women too don't have no good values or skill sets, and that's an issue as itself. So it goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? You got the man who's like simping. You know what I'm saying? As the definition goes, over prioritizing this woman, constantly hitting them up for their own self ego, to feed themselves, to try to win that pretty girl, to be like, oh, I feel great now. She said yes. Let me take her out. That whole time, their whole mind is just to fuck too. They just want to fuck. They're horny. They just want to fuck. They're trying to see ass, pussy. They're like, yo, this is their whole goal. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem in the culture right now. You know, men are simping over women that don't deserve it any type of way. You shouldn't be a simp anyways because you're being submissive, and men aren't built to be submissive. We're not designed to be submissive. We are masculine. We have more testosterone in our bodies produced than estrogen for a reason. Look up what those chemicals can do to your body. What do those chemicals, hormones that are already natural in our bodies do to us? You'll see. You'll see what testosterone promotes. Muscle growth, facial hair, shit for a man. What makes a man? You know what I'm saying? And why estrogen promotes things to help childbirth and the different type of um, deep voice and high voice and all these different things are for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like it just it's just unfathomable to me sometimes that people are confused, and that's a problem. If you're confused, you definitely belong in this progressive. You definitely belong in this progressive side because that's one of the traits of a progressive man. They let women lead and then they resent them for it. They can't protect or provide or guide a family in no type of way. And they're confused. The traditional man is someone who's a protector, a provider, a spiritual leader, a warrior. A traditional man leads with purpose over pleasure, disciplined, self-governed, and bold. These are traditional things. Leads in love, not simping. So let me break this down. A traditional man is like what the Bible teaches. A man who's going out there and provide for his woman. Like how it's been since the beginning of time. Men were the hunters, the warriors, going out and collecting the food, bringing it back. The woman would go and cut it up, do what they gotta do, or the man can help too. But I'm saying the woman cooks it up, clean it, and gives it to her man so he can eat after a hard fucking day of work of going tracking down these animals. You know what I'm saying? Just because society is changing in certain ways, now we got grocery store, doesn't change um biological design. Doesn't change biological design, and that's just 100% facts. When it comes to traditional masculinity, it's very biblical. Look at Jesus, look at King David, look at Joseph, look at warriors. The real man is supposed to be the protector. Now, we going on the first date, right? We're going on the first date. Do you expect yourself to pay the woman or the man? Obviously, the man, right? The man pays for the food. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? When you're walking down the street, right, and someone tries to come and steals your purse, and you're walking with a man, who's gonna go chase after that man to grab your purse? Who's gonna do that? The woman or the man? You know what I'm saying? These things are set in stone in DNA. You know what I'm saying? This is beyond our control. Like all the sex changes and all this bullshit is just ruining culture, our society, and men are just getting weaker and weaker. Like I'll be y'all woman, y'all be damned if a man just standing there while another nigga is disrespecting you, calling you out, saying disrespectful names, calling you this, that, and that, and your man just standing there with a fucking purse. Your man has a purse too to match yours. Like, come on, man. Your man running around in a skirt. Like, how do y'all women condone that shit? And I'm not talking about culture skirts. You know, there's certain cultures that wear skirts that like men for warrior shit and da da da. Like, that's culture. That's different. I'm talking about wearing fucking women cross dressing, wearing women's clothes, getting their fucking fingernails painted and wearing makeup and shit, and all this corny ass shit that is just like not the way it was designed at all.